A parte da manhã foi uma provocação para a gente pensar fora da caixa, né? Quem passa desavisado pode até me perguntar, pô, Leonardo, quando é que a gente vai começar a falar de suprimentos? Na verdade, a gente teve, ano passado, no encontro da Federação Internacional, e uma das mensagens que foi passada para a gente hoje em dia, claro, isso nunca vai deixar de ser, né? O nosso foco é saving, é produtividade, é competitividade, é lead time. Só que o que está sendo demandado dos profissionais de suprimentos agora, já, e muito mais para o futuro, é a questão de ser um indutor da sustentabilidade na cadeia de suprimentos, da inovação, da geração de valor para o cliente final. E nós vimos lá várias empresas onde a área de sustentabilidade estava migrando para debaixo da área de suprimentos, inovação também. E isso já está chegando e cada vez vai ser mais forte, inclusive aqui no Brasil. O Ralf começou hoje a palestra dele falando que o foco não é mais preço, né? Eu fui convidado há pouco tempo pelo nosso diretor global, que é o Marcos Saraiva, para fazer uma palestra para um grupo de fornecedores. Ele começou o evento bem parecido com o Ralf. Ele disse, o foco não é mais preço, o foco é na cadeia de valor integrada. Como que esse produto chegou até aqui? O preço perde um pouco. Claro, continua sendo importante, mas não é só mais o preço. E eu queria começar, claro, quem quiser fazer pergunta é só pedir o microfone, as meninas estão aqui, mas eu queria começar fazendo uma pergunta que é dirigida ao Ralf e a Catherine, que a gente olhou isso tudo, né, vem aqui essa provocação para a gente gerar valor através da função suprimentos com inovação, com sustentabilidade. E eu queria perguntar, na prática, que ações, que steps vocês recomendariam para um profissional de suprimentos, para um CPO, endereçar na sua área para começar a atuar fortemente como indutor de sustentabilidade na sua empresa, nos seus fornecedores e na inovação? O que fazer, né, para também capturar essas ideias, esse potencial de inovação dos nossos fornecedores?
Oh, that's a great question, and I think everyone realizes we have pressures and challenges on multiple fronts. So you can't come up with all of the answers initially, but I do believe by working closely with your suppliers, and much of what Rob mentioned was through that proactive collaboration. There are a lot of ideas and steps that can be taken initially. Many of the suppliers start by just baselining where they're at with resource consumption, energy utilization, water utilization, and so forth, and begin to, once they understand their baseline, identify what small techniques can be used to drive those efficiencies. And it is really quite amazing how quickly and what significant progress can be made.
Yeah, thanks, Cassie. There's not a lot of things to add to this. What you need to do is you need to put it on the agenda. You need to put it into your selection criteria for the vendors. And it depends up to you what weighting you want to give it. And you need to put it into your questionnaires for the suppliers. And just by doing this, it will trickle through the entire supply chain, because now all of a sudden this guy, the global company XYZ, they asked for these certificates, and they need to pass this on to the supplier of the suppliers, and that is the first thing you need to do, and that is the best step you can do.
Antes de passar para o pessoal, só tinha mais duas perguntas. Para o Ralf, e também, primeiro para o Ralf. Pelo conhecimento que você tem na Accenture, quais clientes na área de suprimentos você conhece hoje que já conseguem capturar na prática a inovação de seus fornecedores, e se você tem alguns cases de sucesso que você poderia mencionar para a gente, que você lembra de números, de ideias que surgiram com esses clientes e com essas empresas.
Okay. Yes, thanks. I mean, it's a general question, and I'm coming back with a very specific answer. And I'm not allowed to disclose the name of the customer I've worked with, but it's an automotive producer, and they also produce motorbikes, and they sit in Munich. So I wouldn't say who it is. Very nice cars and very nice motorbikes in Germany. We defined the capabilities procurement needs to have. Yeah, so we looked at the strategy of BMW, and then we said, what are the capabilities, the supporting capabilities procurement needs to have? And if you look at this car, it's known for driving should be fun, and it's about efficiency, yeah? And it's about innovation, yeah? And compared to the benchmark in the industry, compared to Toyota, they say we need to have stuff earlier in production than Toyota. Yeah? And if that is the case, then I need to be able to have the capability. And what we did is we said, it has to be in each of the role descriptions. There needs to be a process for it. And when I said you need to devote time for it, that's what I meant. And because typically, and I don't know how it is with you, but typically in my life, I don't have the time to. I don't have the time to go to this exhibition. I don't have the time to visit my suppliers because I have to do all these negotiations. So if it's serious, put it in the process, put it into a role description and devote time, and then go for it. Now, you also said measuring it. Now, this is really difficult, okay? My recommendation here is use specific examples and anecdotes where just because you learned the capability of the supplier and you brought in the new technology, it made a difference. So working on anecdotes than on measuring, because it's difficult.
I'll give you just two more examples. One, an IBM example. I think we all know with the continued demand for information, data center and data center usage continues to go up significantly. And data centers are one of the largest consumers of electricity. So IBM has one of our largest data centers in Boulder, Colorado. It sits just on the eastern side of the Rocky Mountains, and it wasn't too long ago that an employee had said, you know, we have this cold air coming off the Rocky Mountains most of the year. Why are we running the HVAC, the air conditioning equipment, consuming all of this energy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to keep this data center cool and running? So everyone thought, that's a unique question. Today, the data center in Boulder has sensors in approximately 75% of the year. The outside ambient air temperature is less than what we need to run the data center on. So with applying some filters so we have clean air coming in, we are able to use the natural air to cool the data center. And we only kick in the HVAC for those few days a year that the air temperature is too warm. Similar to our facility in Zurich, we're experimenting with water-cooled technology where we port, using water, the heat off the hottest parts of the machine, where we ended up with all of this hot water that we were looking for something to do with. And lo and behold, the neighborhood community center, which is located right next to the facility, spends a lot of energy heating the water in their swimming pool. We now give them our hot water, and collectively, we both save energy and save money. So to your point, just looking at what you do differently and being creative in how you apply available technology and innovation can drive a significant change. Is Sandra here? The other thing we find is people are looking at waste differently and creating entire new markets and bringing forward new products. Sandra, are you here? Do you have your purse? Oh, there you are. Stand up. Show your purse. This, Sandra runs a business. This purse is made from recycled aluminum flip tabs, and she's selling them in several countries around the world right now. I just thought it was great, fashionable, and if you didn't look at it, you wouldn't know that those are aluminum flip tops. Anyway, thank you, Sandra. Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I think it's a great product.
Só mais uma para Catherine. Catherine, quais são os indicadores dentro da IBM que a área de suprimentos tem com relação à sustentabilidade, para medir se realmente a área está contribuindo com a questão da sustentabilidade com os seus fornecedores?
As I indicated earlier, I'm actually very proud that IBM, following suit with the likes of Walmart, announced that we have made sustainability an absolute critical element of not only our supply chain organization, but our corporation. And everyone who wants to be a supplier to IBM now has this expectation. We do have a variety of organizations that are working on doing the baseline and measuring raw materials consumed, water used in the manufacturing process, solid waste management, and the like. And we are now expecting our suppliers to do the same. To your point, measurements are hard. And in the absence of standards, some of that progress is also difficult. But there are many organizations working right now, Carbon Disclosure Project and so forth, where companies are voluntarily measuring their current base, setting objectives as to what % they want to reduce or improve in their efficiencies, and reporting against that. So I think you will see in the annual reports, in the social responsibility reports, in the carbon disclosure reports, continued visibility to what the multinational corporations and smaller emerging companies are now disclosing with regards to their progress along that journey.
Your question is what we are really doing, or I mean, what I would like to go a little bit beyond, because what we say is first you have to make it visible, and then you should make a business out of it. Yeah? And we see the sustainability agenda is a business for us. So we created an entire new practice that is just doing the sustainability that helps our clients to make sure they don't fall into the palm oil trap, they don't fall into the sandalwood oil trap. One of my customers, for example, it's a company that produces flavors and fragrances. So they buy the oranges and the tangerines in Brazil, they buy the Arabic gum in Arabia, they buy the mint in India, and the sandalwood oil, not in India anymore because of environmental reasons, but they moved to Australia. Now, what we run for them is the entire inbound supply chain. So we have in our systems all the materials that are on ship, that are in the warehouses. So we know all the prices of the suppliers. We can tell them if you want to have it now, you go to the French supplier. If you want to have it in 3 days, you take it out of the warehouse we run in Rotterdam. And we know all the prices in transportation. But it's only one part of the equation. What we can easily do, and what we're doing for them, is we calculate the carbon footprint for that. So now all of a sudden, you can say, I know if I get it from Indonesia, it's a little bit cheaper, even taking into account transportation and so on. But if I take it from France, that is the difference in tons of carbon dioxide. So you can make a choice, and that is about making choice and making decision. That's when I meant, when I said, put it into your agenda, put it into a selection criteria, and then create choices.
I'll just add one more comment and an example. A good friend of mine runs the sustainability program for Walt Disney Company. And she had been pushing to have the trains that go around the Disney parks converted to biofuel. But the business case was not quite there yet, and she had experienced some resistance. But they had a lot of discussion, and the management team finally decided it's the right thing to do for the right reasons, even though the break-even point was a little more extended than Disney wanted. And this is a story of unintended consequences, but unintended positive consequences. Disney converted all of the locomotives to use biofuel, and within 1 year they were breaking even because it turned out the consumption of French fries in the park skyrocketed. Everyone riding the train with their children would smell that biofuel and start craving French fries. So they moved the French fry stands over where you would get on and off the train. And French fry sales skyrocketed, and Disney is now actually, that's a profitable stream for them.
Falando sobre inovação, passa, mostra qual é a sua ideia, mostra o ganho. Em alguns momentos, o próprio fornecedor sugere um investimento, em outros, ele pede um investimento da Vale, e tem uma comissão, pessoas de suprimentos, muita gente da área técnica operacional, os gestores do contrato, que avaliam, selecionam as melhores, e essas melhores, sim, são implementadas. Queria abrir agora para perguntas do público. Aproveitem, porque nem sempre é fácil a gente olhar no nosso dia a dia e trazer para a prática esses conceitos, mas com certeza a discussão, a pergunta, tirar dúvidas, ajuda muito nesse processo. Então é só fazer assim com a mão, que está ali com o microfone. Por favor, façam as perguntas em português.
Bom dia. Meu nome é Cássio, eu trabalho numa empresa de saúde aqui do Brasil, a AMIL, o Grupo AMIL. E nós recentemente nós criamos uma diretoria de sustentabilidade na empresa. A empresa, até o momento, não tem nenhuma ação tomada com relação à sustentabilidade. E nós pegamos uma executiva de muitos anos na empresa, com muito conhecimento do mercado de saúde, inclusive, de seus fornecedores, e ela foi nomeada agora diretora de sustentabilidade. E, logicamente, eu, como o head de compras, nós estamos fazendo ações conjuntas no sentido de sermos nós, de supply chain, a porta de entrada de todo o processo, acelerando, inclusive, a parte de inovação junto aos fornecedores. A pergunta, mas o primeiro receio que me vem à cabeça será que no primeiro momento, quando nós colocarmos novos requerimentos, novas qualidades em nossos processos de concorrência, exigirmos disso dos fornecedores, se os custos iniciais, se eles, no caso da IBM, né, por exemplo, se eles realmente aumentam em função da falta de elasticidade, da falta de inovação em todos os fornecedores no Brasil, né, com relação a esses novos requerimentos. Então, eu tenho receio de termos um aumento de custos iniciais, e eu queria saber se isso realmente acontece e se no futuro ele tende a estabilizar.
We actually have not seen a increase in price as a result of implementing these programs. The particular program in IBM is new for the suppliers. They have a year to set their goals and to begin that journey. But I hope that some of the examples I showed, that there is significant and immediate benefit that can be realized in short term, even less than a year, just by driving those efficiencies. Those savings also then free up capital that can be used for additional investments in technology and innovation to further drive down that cost curve. So I agree with my colleague here. We need to begin to focus more on value and how we drive the value through technology, innovation, and optimization. And I think that will be quite clearly visible in the short term to the suppliers that get involved as well.
We consultants are typically masters in calculating business cases. We pretend that we know everything up to the 3 digits after the comma, how many reais you're going to save if you do that. Now, when it comes to those tricky things like initial investments in sustainability, that is when I would like to go back to qualitative things like anecdotes. And then you can use examples like the palm wood oil thing. I mean, Nestle is rigorously trying to get rid of uncertified palm wood oil consumption because the consumers don't want to see that anymore. They go to the supermarket, they turn the package of the product, and they read palm wood oil, and they say, I don't want to have it. They ate it for 20 years already, but now they say they don't want to have it anymore. And you don't even need to go back to these big blow-ups like what if BP would have used a different valve in the Mexican Gulf? It would have been more expensive for sure. Now, even if you say, if you take into consideration all the cleanup and all the thousands of people that had to clean up the beaches and so on, maybe they even still made money with saving on the security. But if you then take it a little bit further and look at the legislation and the drawback and pushback the US government has in just giving more licenses to offshore drilling, if you take this into account, then for sure there's a business case.
I'll just give one more example, laundry detergent as an example. Major shifts in that regard, because what they found is laundry detergent, for the most part, historically, has been 70–80% water. So you have all of the water going in. You therefore have these larger packages, which weigh more. So you have more plastic in the packaging. You have more weight for the product itself, which costs more in shipping and logistics and requires more shelf space. So when you start to calculate along that example, and the immediate savings of multiple dimensions by moving to a concentrate, there are some significant savings that can be realized. The challenge that many of the companies producing laundry soap had was shelf space and brand visibility is also very important. And for the companies that switched to concentrate early, they had less shelf space in the grocery stores. So there was, again, this trade-off. But now you see consumers, this emergence of the ethical consumer, looking more and more and making decisions, perhaps on not what is so visually obvious, but what is smaller and more relevant to us all.
Humildemente eu vou usar a responder também. Eu acho que sim, os custos tendem a subir, principalmente no Brasil. A gente já tem dificuldade com fornecedores. Por exemplo, na Vale nós temos o IDF, que é o Índice de Desempenho dos Fornecedores. Um dos itens que os fornecedores mais têm dificuldade de atender é saúde e segurança. Isso tem tudo a ver com sustentabilidade. Então, se já é difícil achar os que atendam às normas, com esse crescimento que vem por aí, com certeza, se você for aumentar o seu padrão, provavelmente você vai ter que pagar um pouco mais caro. Mas eu acho que é isso que eles falaram, é o trade-off. É quanto que o consumidor está disposto a optar pela sua marca por ter noção de que o produto que vem da sua cadeia é um produto realmente sustentável. Conforme uma coisa for aumentando, a outra vai ter que equilibrar. E o que está acontecendo é que muitas empresas já estão se antecipando a esse processo e já estão falando, não, a minha marca é verde, eu sou sustentável, e consumidor, se você quiser uma marca sustentável, opte aqui pela minha. A gente tem tempo, não tem problema.
Oi, bom dia, meu nome é Rafaela. grande problema que a gente tem no Brasil é o transporte. Um grande gargalo é a nossa estrutura logística. E é realmente um valor muito difícil de ser identificado, alocado, quando a gente olha para toda a cadeia. Então, assim, pensando num país do tamanho do nosso, com todas essas restrições e política mesmo de desenvolvimento, vocês têm algum caso, algum exemplo de algum lugar que tenha sido implementado isso, tenha funcionado aí com uma perspectiva de curto, médio prazo?
That's a great question, and I think the challenges with logistics are significant, and they're probably one of the most significant in the supply chain. Again, there's a few things you can do early on, and that's, getting back to product design and packaging to limit the space that's consumed and the weight that needs to be transported. All that being said, there is a major focus right now on the expense and carbon footprint associated with the long-distance shipping of products. And more customers are looking to buy local, which will dramatically change the way companies look at manufacturing processes and things that we have been, let's say, having done in China and India and other countries. There's a variety of optimization models and tools that are now available that allow supply chain professionals to go in and look at the whole inventory management and logistics process to start to make better decisions as to how you can eliminate some of the inefficiencies, both on long-haul transport and return, so you're not just bringing back empty trucks, kind of partnering in that regard. Oh, I probably shouldn't use that word, partnering. But so there are tools that are available now that allow you to look at a comprehensive view of your logistics model today and make recommendations to strike a better balance to minimize those